What's up, everybody? Chase, senior host of the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. Just wanted to hop on and get to the latest on Deebo Samuel. Hope all of you are gearing up to have an awesome weekend. I'm here in Dallas. Beautiful weather. Opening weekend for Major League Baseball. The Masters, Tigers, somewhat in contention. It's an awesome time on the sporting calendar. And look, this is why you subscribe to the channel, because whether I'm at the Chat Sports studios or at home, still bringing you free daily videos on the latest 49ers news and rumors like this one, so hit that red subscribe button down below. Since we're talking about Deebo Samuel solely on today's show, want to start off with a trivia question. So Deebo Samuel this past year in 2021, 14 total touchdowns. What was the most amount of receiving and touchdowns that Jerry Rice had in a single season in his career? Is he close to Deebo? Let me know. Get your guesses in and stay tuned, because later I'll reveal the answer to that trivia question. So, latest on Deebo Samuel. Let's get to it. Wiped his Instagram of everything 49ers. He's entering the final year of his rookie contract. Davante Adams, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, all of these wide receivers are getting new contracts. They're also getting new deals at record-setting prices. And Deebo sees all of these other receivers getting the bag, and he's like, hold up. You see what I did last year, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan? Outside of quarterbacks in the NFC, I might have been the most valuable offensive player because I impacted games through the run, through the pass. I was a game breaker, and anytime we needed a big play, whether it be a jet sweep, a pitch, a handoff, bubble screen, a play through the air over the middle, I was coming through changing games, and I change games just as much as a Davante Adams, a Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. So I see where Deebo Samuel and his frustrations are coming from. He wants to get his, and he's probably like, I want to get mine, and I think it's only a matter of time before Deebo Samuel gets the bag. But it's the way the 49ers do business, which is a big reason why he hasn't yet secured that contract extension. So before we continue to get to all of the latest and unpack everything, because there's so much to get to, if you think Deebo deserves to get paid, hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Now, I said this on yesterday's show. If I were to unfollow Chat Sports on Twitter, Instagram, on social media, there would be feelings behind it. There would be some level of frustration, whether I'm not liking the current situation with my boss, general manager, coworkers, my contract. If I unfollowed my employer on social media, it'd be a little bit weird. If you were to do the same thing, there would be something behind it too. Maybe you want a pay raise and your boss hasn't given it to you, so you know what? You're like, I'm done with said company. I unfollow them. I love my job, by the way. But that's what's going on with Deebo Samuel right now. So yes, he's going to get paid, but from his standpoint and on his side, he's with his agent, they're probably demanding one number, and the 49ers are here. This is why these things are called negotiations. It's a seesaw between both parties, Deebo Samuel as well as the 49ers. Now, there was a report out there that Deebo wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the National Football League. So at that point, we're talking about $30 million annually for Deebo Samuel, maybe even more. Tyreek Hill average annual value, $30 million with his record-breaking contract. And when it gets to that point, $35 million for a non-quarterback, that's when I'd hesitate a little bit. And that's probably, if that's the scenario, why the 49ers are hesitating in their side of contract negotiations. Why the pause on giving Deebo Samuel that much money? He's missed 17 games the last 3 years. He plays a very physical style. He plays running back as well as wide receiver. So all of these things factor into these contract negotiations well. And while Deebo Samuel is a great player, nobody can question that. He's fantastic. How does he age? Also, you look at the NFL draft the last couple of years. There have been, starting like with around Deebo's class, right, in 2018, there have been some crazy and ridiculous wide receiver classes in the NFL draft. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel. You look at what these guys have done, drafted in the first 2 rounds, they're only getting paid, what, on their rookie contracts, right? Deebo wanting to get paid $30 to $35 million, that's a lot of money for a position where we're seeing a lot more talent enter the NFL draft over the last few years. So these are probably a lot of the hesitations from the Niners. Now, do I want to pay Deebo Samuel? If I'm San Francisco, hell yeah, I do. This guy is a great leader. He is awesome in the locker room. Last year, he really emerged in that regard, and he's one of the best offensive players outside of quarterbacks in the NFL. I've been saying this for months, ever since he went on that tear, really starting with, I believe, that Week 8 game against the Chicago Bears. I have said, look, Deebo, I'll give you a 5-year, $120 million contract. That's $24 million per year. That puts you top 3 average annual value, $65 million guaranteed. If I'm the Niners, I offer that to him. If Deebo wants 30, 35, then that's why these negotiations could get a little bit sticky. So how much should Deebo get paid? That's my next question for all of you rocking and rolling with us. Yes, we don't have the fancy graphics today, but I still value all of your responses because it helps me go back into the comment section and kind of see what the fan base is feeling. Let me know. Also, that trivia question answer, that's coming soon too. More developments with Deebo. Jeremy Fowler, he said today on SportsCenter, 49ers have been budgeting for months to get this contract done. Deebo wants it right now, but the previous point that I made, it's not really how the 49ers have historically done business under this regime. Fred Warner last year, George Kittle year before, they got their contract extensions right around the same point for Deebo Samuel in training camp. It's a couple of months away. It really doesn't make sense from a business standpoint. If you're going to pay this money to this player, why you'd pay that individual in April as compared to maybe August. So that's also a part of this conversation. Colin Cowherd also made an interesting argument, and this is going to really wrap up what we're talking about on today's show. He had said that if he were the Niners, he would think about franchise tagging Deebo Samuel, which pays him top 5, top 10, highest average annual value among all wide receivers, and really it's a year-by-year basis. Now, he made that argument from San Francisco's point of view because of Deebo's health. He's missed those 17 games over the last 3 years. That's why he'd go shorter term, lots of money, but then you don't have the guaranteed money and the longer back half years and money at the back end of that contract if Deebo were to get hurt or not be available, because that is a question mark. He's missed 17 games the last 3 years. I'd rather not go that route. It allows the team to have control for a year, maybe 2, but it also leads to the player being disgruntled. And I think the Niners and Deebo still and do and have had a really good relationship. I don't want to run the risk of disgruntling Deebo Samuel, frustrating him, pissing him off to the point where he's like, you know what, I'm done with these guys. And now NFL, NBA, it's the player empowerment era. We have seen players starting in the NBA, now trickling into the NFL, demand trades. They demand a trade so that then they get sent to a destination, to a team that is willing to take the chance and is willing to pay Deebo Samuel. Like, I don't know, Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins spending crazy cash and becoming South Beach Niners. Again, Deebo Samuel's an impact player. He's a special player. There will be other teams out there who do want to sign him. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Got to get to that trivia question answer. So Deebo Samuel, 8 rushing touchdowns this past year, 6 through the air, 14 total. Easy math, even though I'm terrible at math. In 1987, facts. I failed elementary algebra at Temple University, but I'm good. I can talk. Jerry Rice, 1987, 22 receiving touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 23 total. So while Deebo had a great year, 14 total touchdowns through the air and on the ground, Jerry Rice in 1987, even better with 23 total touchdowns. Absolute beast, and that's why Jerry Rice is the GOAT among all wide receivers. Appreciate all of you for rocking and rolling with us here on the 49ers Report. Make sure you subscribe, free daily videos. Doing our best. We're grinding every single day to bring you Niners content from the Chat Sports Studios or at home. Appreciate all of you for rocking and rolling with me. Have a great weekend.